I left Isla Coronado early in the morning. The idea was to sail further north, and I didn't really plan where I end up that day, but definitely wanted to stop a few times before I turned left into Bahia Concepcion. First stop was a river mouth, which looked kinda interesting.
So I dropped my anchor in 20 feet of water, right here in front of this river mouth, and I'm not 100% sure what it is, but I'm going to check it out. So let's take down the dinghy.
Even though it was relatively calm that day, there were a few nasty waves breaking, and it was getting shallow. I mean really shallow.
It is super shallow here.
So that this entrance would probably be dry when the tide falls. I tried to find a way in. That's the kind of stuff I like. Yeehaw!
I can touch the ground, the water is coming to here. So 1.5 feet. It's a pretty cool little inlet here. Shallow, a mixture of sand bottom and mud. All these little cliffs over here are just mud. It's no rocks. Looks pretty strange. It's kind of nice here. It's very remote. It's exactly what I wanted. The water is so warm. It's unbelievable. I think it's either the same like body temperature or even higher than body temperature. It feels like a bathtub. So the tide is still coming in, which is good. So I do have a little time to wander around here. And just beach the dinghy over here. And now let's climb a hill. This is salt. Can you hear that? No car, no other people's music, no people talking, nothing. There's nothing here. I mean, pretty much looks like there's cowboys and Indians everywhere here. That sounds a little bit like walking over frozen ground. So the weather forecast for this area is pretty hard with all these mountains over here and the shifting winds. It's hard to say. Today they said there's no wind, and actually wind is building up right now. So I anchored there with almost no wind. Now we have, when I left the boat, it was already 12 knots of wind. That's why I don't stay longer here. This was a quick excursion. Now we're going back to the boat, pull up anchor and get to a place where it's more comfortable for the night before the sun is down. So, Captain, report on board. Aye. Yes.
So I pulled up anchor, set sails, and made my way up north. I arrived in San Juanico just before sunset. The next morning, I woke up in paradise.
I found this beautiful place here, which is the southern part of San Bruno Bay, and there's nobody else around here. There's awesome snorkeling over here, and the rocks look great, and the water is nice and warm. It's good to be here.
When I left San Juanico Bay, I wanted to stop in San Sebastian Cove. I wasn't really sure if I can make it, but for sure I wanted to try it.
Just anchored in Bahia San Sebastian. It's a narrow entrance over there. I hope you can see that. That's the entrance. There's actually a reef extending on that one. And on the other end, over here, there's a reef coming into that bay. So the reef goes actually pretty much like here, all the way in here. You can see a little over here, but there's nothing you can see there. And then there's another reef going in here on the corner, so you have to come around and tuck in here. So it's a kind of tricky entrance. It's not much room here. I think the whole entrance is around 150 meter wide, más o menos. And I'm glad there's no other boats here because it's not much room, but I'm in here and it's great. I wanted to go here. I wasn't sure if I can make it with the wind, but the moment I said, okay, let's drop anchor over there at Punta Pulpito, the wind picked up and the spinnaker just pushed ZERO further away with up to 5.5 knots, which was great. So we could bear the other 9 miles distance within daylight. And here we are, anchored fine. So let's check it out. It's a great place. It looks so nice here. Unbelievable. There's all these rocks and it's just kind of dry, and actually it's kind of boring to see always the same. And then you go in here and you pass by and you say, oh man, that looks so nice with all these palm trees here and the house. And it's a small little dark beach. I think it's not sand, it's rock, but it's yeah, it looks so nice. And let's have a swim first, and then we check out the So I just had a little swim and checked out the anchor, and despite all the rocks around here, this is a perfect sand bottom. It's great. It's at the moment it's 13 feet deep here, but I'm inside the bay. I dropped anchor in 2022, I think. And the anchor is completely digged into the sand. You don't see anything of it. Just the chain is going into the sand, and that's it. Over. Okay, time for dinner.
So I left this beautiful place again. I set up the sails, caught actually a nice breeze of wind, and continued my journey further north. I still wanted to go to Bahia La Concepcion, but that is another story.